Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch or would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I will be reviewing the Cartier Panthere de Cartier watch, reference WJPN0066 in yellow gold with a diamond bezel, medium size. I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the Panther, then tell you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. Well, the history is not that long. Cartier came out with the Panther in 1983. That makes it approximately 40 years old. And what marks a Panther watch? Well, Cartier has many different lines of watches. They have the Tank, which is a rectangular watch, quite iconic watch. Actually, of all the watchmakers, Cartier does the most extreme and interesting shapes, starting with the Tank, that's rectangular, the Santos, which is also, by the way, a square watch like the Panther that you see. They have the Ballon Bleu, which is circular, which has kind of a funky crown guard. Then they have a Baganor, which is oval, and many other shapes, and the Crash and so on. The Panther is marked by having a square case. That means all four sides are the same. And it is marked by this interesting bracelet, which has 5-piece links across. Okay, well, the history is that it was created in the early 1980s, around 40 years ago, actually 1983. And since then, it did pretty good, not amazing, but it was revived in 2017. And Cartier really put quite a bit of effort behind it in 2017. And when I mean effort, I mean they put other models, other variations, spiced it up to make it look more modern. And the result is what you see in front of you. This is the latest iteration of their Panther design. They have in this model many different models, actually up to 73. If you go onto their website or onto our website, you can see it in all different variations. The variation that you're looking at here is actually one of the top line. It's not the most expensive line, but it is top of the line, because as you can see, it doesn't get much more expensive than gold or diamonds, which this one has both. So there you have it. Okay, that's a little bit about the history. Let's start talking about the watch itself, because what you're buying is the watch and not necessarily the history. So let's talk about that. Let's start with the case. Now, it is square and it's medium size. Medium size is going to fit most women, and I would suggest it, holding it in my hands, I can see the size of it. I would suggest it for women that have a wrist size between 5.5 and 6.5 inches. That, I think, would be the sweet spot for this watch, which is actually, by the way, most women. So if you don't like that size, if you have a wrist outside that size, well, good for you. They have a large and they have a small. They even have a mini. So there's different sizes for different wrist sizes, as you can imagine, just like shoes or bags or whatever. All right, anyways, this is the medium size, the size that is going to fit most women. The dimensions are 26 by 36. And you might be wondering which one is which. 27 would be 9 to 3, and 36 would be 12 to 6. It's a little bit longer. It's not that the watch is longer. It's just that if you count in all the extra stuff, as you can see, the watch goes from 12 to 6. That's the longest distance. The dial itself and the bezel, that part is actually a square. Okay, and it's made in yellow gold. They make other materials too. They make white gold, rose gold, yellow gold. They make steel and gold, etc. But this one's in yellow gold, which actually, in my opinion, makes the watch pop the most. It blurs the line between jewelry and watch, which is actually one of the initial concepts of the Panther, is that this bracelet would mimic it could be worn kind of like a watch, but also like jewelry. So it really blurs the line between the two. Okay, and also the thickness, take a look here, it's only 6 millimeters thick. Now, to give you an idea, the thinnest watches, automatic watches, are around 8 millimeters. The thinnest manual wines are around 6 millimeters, but that's really thin. And this one is 6 millimeters. Now you might be wondering, how did Cartier manage to do that? Well, they didn't have a manual wind or automatic movement. They used a quartz movement. Quartz means battery. So you do need to change the battery every few years, but the upside to it is that you don't need to adjust the time. On a manual wind, you would actually have to literally wind it every 2 days. And if you don't fail to do so, the watch would not keep time. You would have to reset the time. In a quartz movement, which most women do not wear their watch actually every day, they wear it as sort of part jewelry, part watch, you can not have to pick up the watch at all. And it will keep time all the time until, of course, the battery runs out. But that's a few years. Anyways, okay, that's the case. Now let's move on to the bracelet. And kind of alluded to it all this time. Oh, I should probably point this out too before we move on, is the crown. Now, the crown is actually set with a diamond. Now, oftentimes, Cartier will set the crown with a cabochon, which is this blue stone. And the reason that they put it with a diamond in this situation is because of the bezel, which actually probably we should talk about that next. So it would be kind of awkward to have the bezel set with diamonds and the crown set with a blue cabochon. So they decided to keep it all the same color, which is the right thing to do, and they kept a diamond at the crown. Moving on to the bezel. The bezel is your typical square bezel that they have, and they have usually these screws that you can see from the front, kind of like a Royal Oak, but actually Cartier came up with this long before, this sort of exposed screw. But in this situation, instead of having just a flat diamond or flat bezel, this variation has the diamonds around the bezel, which makes it look even more luxurious. And I have to agree, it looks quite fantastic with the diamonds like this. Okay, let's move on here to the dial. Dial, I can't say there's a whole lot to talk about, but it does keep the traditional look of the Panther, which is Roman numerals in black. That is the traditional dial for the Panther. It's always been that way, probably will always stay that way. And it has these blue sword hands. So that is typical Cartier. There are variations off that. Actually, you know what? I don't think there's many variations off. There are some variations off of it, but not a lot. By and large, if it is a Panther, it's going to have this white Roman dial with black numerals that are very legible. And this is just a typical Cartier Panther, which is very beautiful, luxurious, by the way. Looks, I don't know, French, looks fantastic. And okay, all right, so let's move on here into the bracelet. The bracelet here is what marks this watch a Panther and not a Santos. A Santos looks similar, has a square design, but looks much more manly and has a different bracelet. This is a Panther bracelet, which is, as you can see, very supple and very comfortable. Why? Because you have 5-piece links across, which make the bracelet contour to your wrist perfectly. It's a very comfortable bracelet. In fact, even kind of looks like a bracelet that you might just wear, and Cartier, being also a jewelry company, knows that, so they developed this beautiful bracelet, which is hidden. When you close it, you cannot actually even see the buckle, so it has a hidden buckle, and then they do that. Beautifully done, excellent execution, beautiful buckle, and beautiful bracelet. And the Panther bracelet, iconic bracelet actually, and it's been out now 40 years. Okay, let's move on to the movement. I already told you it's quartz, not much else to say. It does have water resistance, 30 meters, which is actually, you could actually dive with it, not down to, you could. I'm not saying you would, but you could. All right, anyways, time to try this watch on. Now, I'm a man, this is a woman's watch. I'm just going to place it against my hand so you can see. It's a fantastic watch. Now, for those who have the money to afford it, $30,000 is not small money. We're selling it at jazztime.com. Hard to get. We're selling it even less than retail. So if you'd like to buy this watch, click on the link in the description below. We have this watch. It's fantastic. It's beautiful. Please buy it at jazztime.com.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on the mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.